Healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
Just a big lesbo on TikTok.
Meaning in what?
Meaning like not as bad as it is anymore. I don't actually think, because if I was, I would be getting my 14-year-old nephew's algorithm, which I know is just like Republican talking points and girls in bikinis.
I see.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But I get like, it's like, I don't know. It's a lot of like, are you really, or you might be gay. But then I'm like, I know, I like Subarus. I like dressing comfortably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love these TikTok videos that people are making. My algorithm, I feel like I'm just on there just swiping to swipe sometimes. I'm like, I just don't even
I don't know what I'm into. I like consumerism. There's a lot of like, here's the shoes you need this summer. But a lot of them I get annoyed with now where I'm like, it's the same shoes.
You
Obviously,
see the same
Adidas
thing over and
paid
over
you
again. Yeah, I feel
it's-
like TikTok, I'm getting burnt out on it because it's like, oh, I'll be interested in like the AI, the creepy AI cartoon. Like, oh, that was fun. Do I want to see 18 more of them? Not really.
No, give me back to Nutty Putty Cave.
Yeah. Now, what's your summer wish list? Do you have a summer wish list?
So we started.
Do
we have any Stone It dedications
We
either?
do. We
Okay.
actually do. I'm going to dedicate this one to Junior. Junior, thank you so much for joining our Patreon, Junior. And I love that that's the name that you've chosen for yourself or that was chosen for you. No judgment. By the way, we do have a Patreon. You can be in a $5 or a $10 or a free tier.
Right.
Can be in whatever
What is
tier you
this?
want.
A quartz?
This is actually orange calcite or a yellow calcite. It's isn't it? Look at that.
Have you ever wondered what a gallstone or whatever?
Like a gallbladder or like a
What do they call it that men have to pass to their
kidney
urethra?
stone. Kidney stone. I knew a girl that had them, and she said you just have to squeeze it right out.
Can you put them in a tumbler and they shine up? Can you?
Shine
I
it
feel
up.
like that would be like
I
the
think it's
rarest
like a calcium
rock
deposit.
to
Yeah,
find.
it's like calcium. This is orange calcite.
Yeah.
This is a bladder stone. Now, Junior, I want you to know. I picked this because this is actually a little clue to my journey today. This is a great manifestation technique, and it's an energy amplifier. That's your cup of joe right there. So, Junior, thank you so much for being in our Patreon. And remember, please join. If we get to 100 subscribers soon, we are going to have a special Patreon episode, as promised, where we interview our spouses, Joe and Mike. And
Double date.
Yeah, it'll be a double date and with a babysitter for
Marvin.
Sarah. I mean,
Or the baby.
the baby. I know.
That
I'm
we've
trying to
named
think
it
of a
several
funny
times.
name. Yeah.
I don't.
What'd you say?
I stopped
Marmalade?
caring.
That's funny.
You said Marvin.
Oh yeah, Marvin. Yeah. I named it Sarah somehow again. I'm like, oh God, think of a name. But I wanted to get off starting summer wish list because that's a little fun thing that we haven't talked about yet. And
Right.
I
Well,
love
it,
these.
It always starts off too, I would say, not adventurous, but where my eyes are bigger than my stomach.
Yes,
situation.
and then you're adventurous. The world's your oyster, and then you're just hot. Like now, I just want.
Right.
Yep.
Where, we did the 4th of July, which we will recap on
That's gonna
the
be in our Patreon.
And we couldn't really do much with the baby.
Yeah.
You're like, your life, there was a lot of stuff that was the same, but you know what I did like? I got out of family functions.
Oh my gosh! Get out of jail free card.
They all meet at the end of the night, which is also when all the day drinking peaks too. So then two lines meet at the worst. It's a perfect storm.
Yeah.
And I had to leave at 6 to bathe the baby and put him to sleep. And it was I gave a good FaceTime and then I left. And I was like, I love having a baby.
Oh, that's amazing. Then you just read your little book.
And I was home for a good 2 hours before anybody came home.
Oh my gosh, that's the best thing about having a family vacation away somewhere is like the alone time.
I know. Well, Joe's family, they like to do 24 hours together and then they wonder why they all kind of like secretly hate each other. And I'm like, have you guys thought about going into separate rooms and recharging?
You need to have time by yourself when you're at a family event. And there is like an anxiety of like, oh, who knows when we'll be the last together. But I'm my best self when I go to bed early, take a little time for myself, you know, and then like have like, oh, okay, well, I'll have breakfast together. And then it's like the other people in the family need that too.
Right.
Like my parents don't need me in their face being like, what was it like? What was the old days like?
They also, people don't like it also when you're just kind of looming in their, you know what I mean? Like when you're just a dead rock on the couch.
Needy,
Like
yeah.
this. I always say, go to your room.
Go to your room, just relax, bring a book.
Go to a place where
Yeah.
someone can't see you rot
I've been
or sighing.
yeah. Oh, summer rot. Get out of here. I love you.
Love rotting.
I love rotting.
I miss rotting.
I've been reading. That's on my summer wish list. I've been really into reading. I'm reading The Goldfinch still. It's like I realize it's actually such a huge luxury to be able to read like a huge book. I almost bought it at the bookstore. It was this thick. I'm like,
Well, that's like Clara was talking about commuting. You're like, I'm with her. Commuting is actually quite nice because it's one of the few times you have alone time.
yeah, to be able to read is so nice, and I'm loving this book. And I even went to the bookstore and bought a second book, Call Me by Your Name, which I think is about. I'm not actually sure. I haven't started reading, but I think it's about a gay romance in
it's
France.
the movie.
It's the movie. Don't tell me anything though, because I haven't read it.
I
But I
love
heard
it.
that it's. I heard really. Say no more. Say no more. I heard that it's amazing.
It is, and I think there's talks about there's a second book of their lives 10 years or 20 years later. And I like that director.
And I love buying. I went took myself to Barnes and Noble one of those hot days.
That was my favorite thing before phones was I would go to Barnes and Noble and read all the magazines on a Sunday with a coffee.
Oh my gosh, they have
By
a little
myself.
cafe in there. Oh.
Yes.
I
And
read a
nobody
whole
gave you shit. I don't know how that was allowed that you could just read magazines. 'Cause
People
that's
still
money.
do it. People will just sit in the aisle and read.
I know,
And
I
it's
lo-
like, well, you can't get everybody out of there. I love Barnes and Noble. I love going in there and getting hit with that smell of book.
Well, that's why yesterday I'm trying to find places with central AC that we can hang out in so we don't use up all of our.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of money to have all
It's
of
the point in the summer where it's now you're like, I've done shaving my legs.
I
hot.
can't cook. I
I
can't
have-
turn the stove
Yeah,
on.
I have heat stroke. I'm sick of salad.
Taking a shower is pointless because
Yeah.
I'm dirty a minute later. I was putting mascara on and it kept just rubbing all off into.
Oh, I got caught in a rainstorm. I love the violent summer rain too, which is just so.
I do too, but I have to be indoors for that.
I got caught in it. I missed a bus.
Sometimes you're not prepared. You're wearing cloth Mary Janes, and you're like, well, those shoes have disintegrated.
Yeah, I had my beautiful new Sambas caught in the rain. I'm like, now these are gonna smell like ass. Furious. And do I stay under the awning? No, I just walk home in it.
You
'Cause
accept
once you get wet,
Well, you're like, I can't hang out for 30 minutes under a
in wet
yawning.
jeans,
Right.
in wet jeans. That's a yeast infection. Okay, in this humidity,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I'm not going to talk to a stranger.
No, but I still love. I love summer. I love all the like heat, like. Like all the things we do. Like I have like my ton of beverages, my iced coffee. I love all the
like the
heavy
beverages.
heat things that we do. And my birthday is coming up, so this is my journey.
Put
this
it in my
week.
calendar.
Oh my god, I love that. My journey this week is I'm kind of doing. I always do like a little birthday architecture, as you know.
Okay, because I need to know what a birthday architecture is.
That's where
because these are
just-
two words I've never heard put together.
I think I've coined it. I think I've coined it. Although I feel like I do this episode every year because my whole thing with my birthday is you have to be really careful planning your birthday so that it's fulfilling and satisfying to you, and you don't like try to have a big party that like, because in the dead of July, I don't want to say my birthday for identity theft purposes. Join my Facebook if you want to know, because I guess I can't figure out how to get it off of there. But like in the dead of summer, I can never have a birthday party because it's too hot. It's New York.
People are gone a lot.
Everybody's gone. And so I try to pick like a few simple things that will be nice, but not too expensive, but will be like fulfilling to make it a special day, but also not like, going broke.
Right.
So this year I'm really excited. Mike is taking me to Le Grand Boucherie. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it is French. Meant to Google the pronunciation, then I never did.
Right.
But I'm going to like this gorgeous French restaurant in Midtown, and I'm like getting a massage. And then I also am going to do some like personal manifestation. I feel like I'm in my Zoloft. I've been on it long enough that I'm like, I think I believe in magic again now. I think I'm a witch. I think I've converted.
Well, when you were talking about, when you said manifestation, and I know that you're in also the Zoloft journey, not that I'm skeptical, I was just thinking this actually works out perfectly. I felt like that manifesting is a nice place to be because now you're in a positive mindset.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
like,
I'm always a skeptic.
when I was kind of, I couldn't get myself into a place where I could feel really positive. And now that I'm there, and also because I did take like a little weekend break, I feel like replenished. And that's
Right.
always when I get on a new kick where I'm like, I'm going to vision board. I'm on a journey. Last night, I almost bought an ice cream maker. I was like, I need one.
Right.
So I'm like, whenever I have like a nice break where I really just like had a weekend where I didn't do anything, I didn't do work, just mental rest, and then you get like a surge of energy, and I'm just like, I'm riding the wave. I'm making my own sorbet. Okay, here we
Right.
go, people. I'm doing spells.
Yes.
I did a spell. This is true, and I do think
So what's
that
the
it
difference
worked.
between a spell and a manifestation?
I actually don't know
Okay.
because I was Googling trying to find this spell, quote unquote, that I did a few years ago. But like, it's very hilarious to me to be like, I'm getting on the internet to learn how to use magic. But you know, the internet is science, but whatever.
And science is magic.
Magic is science and science is magic. I'm a doctor. So I found this spell a few years ago, and it was a kind of like, I think maybe a career manifesting spell where you had 4 green candles. You put them at north, south, east, and west. Then you had a little thing in the middle. You had to have a picture of yourself, and you had to have bay leaves, 2 special types of stones, which I forget. And then you also had to have a certain type of incense.
Okay.
So you would put on a white shirt. It was very involved.
I was going to say, like, I'd rather just edit a video and caption it and put on Instagram.
You have to be really motivated. The motivation has to be there. But I did. So I would put on the white shirt, I would sit, and I think basically, and I have heard this, like the psychology of this is that you are tricking your mind into feeling kind of like things are going well, and then you kind of put that out when you're in, when opportunities are there. But
Yes.
basically I would think like about the job I want. I would be like, I've got my great new job. I'm so excited. I've got it. I'm like, here I am. I'm going to work and like getting my coffee, and I'm on my way to my job. And I would just really visualize it with like an intensity. I had a lot of time on my hands at the time, clearly. But I did actually get a job. I did actually get a job briefly, a writing job, the only one that I ever had.
Right.
And I got it right around that time. And I remember I had the interview, and I wore the white shirt that I was wearing to the interview. And then I got it, and I ended up like, it was a pretty successful experience for me. So I don't necessarily like accredit it to magic, but when you win that,
Their
like,
mindset
the
was
mindset
there.
shift. Yeah. The
Right.
mindset shift of being like, yes, everything's possible.
I agree with that. You know what gets me to the mindset shift is quotes.
Quotes. Oh, I love a quote. I used
Show
to,
me a random quote on
oh
Twitter,
my God.
Facebook, Instagram.
I am enough. I love those. I used to actually screenshot them, and I keep them in my phone, and I would do, instead of affirmations, I just swipe through my quotes.
Winston Churchill has some good ones.
Yeah.
Meaning like right before you succeed is when you want to give up.
Yes.
So I keep going.
I keep going. I've never stopped.
I might get mad at him later. There's one I just read about, like, even when a tree loses its leaf, it still stands there proud and tall, knowing that they will come back.
Oh.
That you're like,
wow.
even when something is, you
Yeah.
don't have your leaves right now, they will come back.
When you get in, having a mindset shift, I ended
Yeah.
up having one because I was kind of like really, I was like eating kind of bad lately, and not like bad in the sense of like, oh, I need to be counting calories. I was just kind of like sitting on the couch and like eating a tub of cookies.
Right.
Like once a week. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no bad foods. I hate that.
But you're not having positive outcomes from it. right?
I was feeling sick.
Yeah,
I'm like,
because-
I'm eating until I feel sick, and
and
then
then you hate yourself because you're like, it didn't really make me feel satisfied.
it wasn't the thing that I wanted even.
Right.
Yeah. It was like I just didn't feel good, but instead of processing my emotions.
It almost would have been better if you made the cookies from scratch and then ate them.
Yeah, like doing an activity or like, doing I think like it's from a place of not wanting to, of like running away from your feelings instead of like sitting with yourself. But I had this mindset shift that I was like, I'm going to eat. I really want to eat healthier. I just want to make the healthy choice.
Right.
I like, I'm going to have like a fruit. I'm going to have as much fruit as having that mindset shift and kind of moving into it where I did start eating better, and again, like I was using my healthy app, which I will say, because this is like a little eating disorder-y, but like I've had these times before I'm like, I'm eating a tub of cookies. Like this can't happen. But then, the next day I'd be eating like 100 calories.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, okay, that's
It's the extremes.
some kind of, there's no extreme. But I have the healthy app now and it breaks down all of your foods into like points. It's like Weight Watchers.
Gotcha.
So then you can be like, oh, well, I know I ate enough today. Or like,
Right.
oh, okay, let me eat a sandwich.
I try to do if I'm going to have something bad, then I try to get something good with it.
Yeah, like a little balance is
Like a
so
salad
hard to
with a
come
pizza.
by. Yeah.
That's
oh my
why-
God. I love salad and pizza.
I've always thought Joe's family is absolutely bonkers. They order
Yeah.
fries with their pizza, and I'm like, that's crazy.
Oh my God. Pizza fries. I'm not a big fry person. I've never been a big fry person. You would never guess that about me.
No,
But I love a truffle fry. Of course I love a truffle fry.
I like fries. I don't know. I just like a good McDonald's fry.
Oh, soggy.
But some people
yeah.
are like, they want like the big potato wedges, and I'm like,
oh,
it's
I hate a wedge.
too potatoey for me.
No,
if it
no,
gets
no,
that
no.
big, I'm going to put butter and sour cream on it.
I know. It's like a baked potato.
Can I
might
tell
as
you
well-
something weird that I've always thought? Why is it that ketchup with French fries is amazing, but you never put ketchup on your baked potato?
Oh, that sounds terrible, but yes, I
But
get it.
why?
I had, oh my God, I went to the best little Indiana diner yesterday and I had like little griddle hash browns and doused it with
Yeah.
ketchup and it was fantastic.
I guess it's the fried
the
aspect.
crispy, the
calls for
crispiness. Yeah, I think it's the crisp.
the ketchup.
Because a baked potato is a little mushy,
It is, and it lacks the saltiness sometimes.
Oh, I'd love to load up a baked potato. Let me tell you something. I'm talking cream cheese.
It's old school.
Chives,
Yes.
butter,
But
cheese.
There's always a time in the baked potato, the first few bites are amazing. And then even no matter how much you've loaded it up,
Yeah.
for some reason, the potato always dominates.
You have to, yes, I
But
know.
you have to keep
like,
loading it.
You 100%. The amount of work that you have to do. It's like you have to create mashed potatoes and whip your own. I mean, like, I'm making my own choice baked potato. I'm just not baking it again.
Right.
So, anyway. Manifesting potatoes. Anyway, so here's one of the things about like having a good birthday architecture, which means like reviewing your year.
It's
okay?
really hard. Like the older you
Yeah.
get, because you're going to have like, where am I at?
Yes.
Am I at where I'm supposed to
Feelings
be?
are going to come up. Feelings always come up for your birthday,
I
and
had
you
those
need to have a
feelings at
plan in
19,
place. Yeah.
and I look back on that and being like psychotic.
Yeah. Like you're always feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm older, and then also there's another, birthday traumatic experience where you're like, you want it to be this big day. And if it doesn't hit to be as big of a day it is, then there's a big letdown. It's like
There's a wrath.
the New Year's Eve kind of like syndrome, where you're like, oh, we just stayed in and counted down. It's like prepare.
Yeah.
By choosing one or two things, one or two people, or I'm all for people having birthdays by themselves. I think having a birthday alone is amazing.
Like a me day birthday.
Yeah, like clean your whole apartment, go for a spa treatment, buy yourself something nice, have your little piece of cake, like a birthday alone, gorgeous. I was looking up just for this because I will be spending my birthday with my fiance, Mike Vecchione. Check out his special. But I was looking up things to do for your birthday alone because I have spent birthdays alone and I love that idea, but I was cracking up because like 7 of them were like alcohol related. Like get
Go
a
to a pub.
cordial. Yeah, have a wine tasting. It's like, please don't drink alone on your birthday. I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Have one glass of wine maybe at a bar, but like don't drink alone. It's not good. But I think like one of the key things to having like a successful birthday as you get older, I think is like reviewing the year. I read this on a Medium post, so I am jacking this, and there is no credit offered because that's the world we live in. Sorry. Google what I'm saying and see if you can find it. Reviewing the year, setting your goals, and that's also part of manifesting too. Then like creating a sense of gratitude for things that went well that year. Then you celebrate.
Okay.
So it's like those, I think, are the 4 pillars of a successful birthday. Like there's so many things that you could do. And I think I am also going to be buying the red light therapy panel for myself, unless it causes cancer.
Okay.
I have to look into it.
That would be horrific.
Hope you didn't get one since I did that several episodes ago.
My friend Diane just reached out. I have to listen to her whole take about, I haven't had a chance, but she told me she has the red light therapy.
Does she really?
The one that we talked about, and she likes it.
She does.
Yes.
Oh, good.
So I got to read her positive, because I think we brought up some points that we thought wasn't working as much. And then she had counter arguments. And
she has a mask.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Yes, I want to hear this. I want to hear the counter argument. Okay. But yeah, so that's my birthday journey. I'm going to be 38. I guess I'm like saying my age. I don't know. You always feel like, oh, keep it hidden. But it's like, I mean, I can't pretend I'm Gen Z.
I remember one time this comic, it was a guy comic, and let's talk about age.
Let's talk about age.
Since we're talking about birthday.
Yeah.
I was told one time, probably I wouldn't mention that. I remember when I auditioned for Adam Devine's house party, I had a joke about being my age at the time. It was 38, 37. I asked Josh Gundelman, he's like, I probably wouldn't for this. And I didn't. And I got it. And it was my first TV.
Yeah.
And I've always been on the fence. Where I come from, who fucking cares? This is ageist. And then at the same time, I want a job, and Hollywood really does reward, or show business really rewards young people. But I also have been seeing good examples online of people having really great success, especially in comedy, stand-up.
Yeah.
Like Leanne Morgan.
Absolutely.
Brilliant, very funny.
So delightful. And I love her whole energy. And also, there is a thing, too, where you're like, I've known certain people for years, never known their age, or they're clearly lying.
Yes.
And it's obvious. And it's like, okay, should I go around? Am I going to tell people that I'm 28?
Yes.
Because first of all, that is hilarious. And I did do that last year. I posted that I was 27, which people were like, oh my God, I had no idea. And I was like, wow, I guess I could really get away with it. But also, it's like, I want to be the age that I am, because I already did all that.
Right.
You want to be like, I want to be authentic, which is the one way to kill your career.
Right.
Yeah.
I know, because they're
I want
like,
to be hot authentic.
They were like, as soon as blah, blah, blah was authentic. And I was like, I don't know. I've been authentic.
As soon as they were authentically hot.
Right. I'm like, I think I remember taking an acting class, and they were like, if it could be natural, it was commercial acting. And then I did this scene, and they really liked it. And I amped it up quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you really don't want me to be my authentic self.
Yeah.
I was like, because what I'm doing right now isn't really
exactly
my authentic self. And this is not an authentic take. You want a slight bit of acting in there, because if I come in, you're going to be like, does she have depression?
Yeah.
We're trying to sell yogurt.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
Which I'm buying it. I am buying it.
You can't, that's the thing, is like, I can't come in an audition, and if I'm going to sell yogurt, I can't be like, yeah, this is really, I like this yogurt. It's pretty good. Okay, here's my example. Taylor Swift.
Okay.
I'm watching her in the Eras Tour. There's lots of clips, and there's corniness. She's corny.
Yeah.
But I think in the grand scheme of things, she has to do this.
Right.
It's showmanship.
Absolutely.
She's like, who out there has ever had their heart broken? Well, this song is for you. You can't do what she does if you came with my energy.
Right. Yeah.
I couldn't be like, guys, this is just like a song that I wrote. I don't know if it's something that you're going to be into. Wearing like a sparkle outfit, and my shoulders are a little hunched over. Like you gotta like look left and right and bring it like this. And so she reads corny to me, but I think what she's doing, you have to do what she does. And
Yeah.
sometimes I think that's what I need to do in stand up.
Well, I mean, I think you can do whatever you want, and it's a blank canvas.
But it's
And I
so
also
many mixed
think-
messages with the art of not giving a fuck, where you're like, well, I'm not giving a fuck, and I think it's actually hurting me.
Yeah, I think the art of not giving a fuck, the book, I think it's a little toxic, actually. It's like, just don't care.
Kick in the door.
Yeah, it's like, this is a great advice for a man who is like, too much.
Well, like you read about Lindsay Lohan with their like casting directors, like, oh my God, we loved her. She came in and was like, how long is this audition going to take? I've got a pool party I need to be at 3 p.m. And we just thought it was amazing. I was like, I've tried stuff like that. And people are like, who the fuck do you think you are?
There's no gaming the system. There's no gaming the system. It's like, you just go in, you gotta you're flying without a safety net. You're just out there.
But that's the age stuff that's bothering
Yeah.
me. Is like, I really do think like why I started saying my age a lot in jokes, but I sometimes still worry. I still worry about it.
Yeah. Well, I take comfort in the fact that, well, when we built the brand of this podcast, which we have been building consistently, and thanks everyone who's
One
supported
brick at
us.
a time, and it's growing.
One person at a time. And please subscribe for the love of God. But we wanted to be clear about the branding of, this is more like a Forever 35 than it is like, podcast of like, I got drunk last night and I threw up on, a man.
And what do you think about anal? Should I do it on the first date or the second date?
Right,
like
right.
Like
And
those
because-
days are over.
Those days never
mean-
happened. They've never happened. God
They're
willing.
rarely happening even for those podcasts.
Right. I think it's, but yeah, I like celebrating being in 30s and 40s as a woman and not like kowtowing to the ageism that is around there, because it's like there's space for women that are our age to be like, yeah, we're here too.
And I want to laugh about fruit prepping. And I love that people online, when we talked about herb panic. When you buy herbs for cooking
It was very
and you
relatable.
only use a little bit of it, and then you have to get to
Herb
the other button.
panic. Yeah. I have cilantro. I have cilantro.
waiting
It's
for me.
wrapped in foil and also in a wet paper towel, and it's still going bad. It's going bad as we speak, and I'm freaking out. Yes. Yeah. These are the topics of the middle-aged.
Yes.
When you're going into, even saying middle-aged feels insane.
Right. Because I'm there. Because I'm going to live to 100. I heard that since I had a baby late, I'm going to live to 100.
That's great.
Thank you, online.
Yeah. Thank you, TikTok. But yeah, so I'm excited. Let us know what you do for your birthday. If you have a birthday by yourself, the whole thing of the birthday architecture, which again, I'm jacking from, several different sources of things that, I actually did coin
standing on
that
the
term.
shoulders of giants.
Standing on the shoulders of giants. Anything is architecture. Anything is an aesthetic.
Right.
But it's just about preparing yourself emotionally for the birthday to be fulfilling and not scary.
Right. I
Not as
remember
scary.
there was a birthday in my childhood that I remember the next day I had a horrific come down and the baby monitor was on, and my parents heard me having my own personal monologue of how disappointed I was about my birthday.
Oh, birthdays can be so. I mean,
I don't know what I
birthdays
was
are
expecting.
Huge. They
It's
can be
never-
a huge letdown.
But it was eye-opening to know that even at a young age,
You were depressed.
nothing is enough. I'm
Yes.
never going to be happy.
Yeah, you got to keep the expectations low, and you got to say, "Hey, I'm okay. Like I'm not living the life of a queen right now. I can have
Yes.
herbal tea. I can have one cookie.
Well,
I take joy in these tiny things because you're alive, and that needs to be enough. Okay,
Right. And then I want to be the person that's like, come on down, I'm having a huge bash. It's so depressing.
Yeah.
When I remember my 21st birthday, I also was a horrific alcoholic, and I burned a really bad bridge by dating my friend's ex-boyfriend. She did show up, and we're still friends to this day. But my family rented tables for my 21st birthday.
Wow.
But I was in the service industry, and it landed on a Friday, Saturday. Nobody could come.
Yeah.
I have pictures of empty tables. It was so embarrassing
Yeah.
that I was like, I will never have a thing.
It's awful because you put some type of pressure on yourself that suddenly you're an event planner.
Yes.
Suddenly you're going to throw an event. And I remember I did a 30th birthday party, and it was like a lot of people that I was just kind of acquaintances with because all of my closer friends were out of town.
Yeah.
And
A lot of
I was like,
improv troupe people.
yeah, just like people showing up like. So yeah, I'm kind of against birthday parties. I'm for throwing a party at another time.
Right.
Throwing a party for somebody else. Like having like a tea party on a Sunday with some girlfriends over, or organizing a dinner, but don't do it on your birthday. Just keep the expectation low. Focus on yourself. Focus on your self-care.
It's hard not to go inward when a birthday doesn't reach. You're
my
like,
God, you're
well, this is why
internalizing.
nothing's worked out.
No one likes me.
Yeah.
I'm 40. Now, what was your journey? I'm forgetting.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, wait. No, I love this.
It was kind of like, for some reason, my Twitter is just, I am a hetero male on Twitter.
Yes. Okay. You said that before, and I was like, what do you mean? But that means your algorithm is like catering masculine.
Yeah.
That's what you're feeling. Yeah.
And then I was like, are other people getting bombarded with this much of like, women don't like to be talked to this way. They prefer a lot of negging kind of stuff.
Oh, the game resurfacing.
it's
I love it. It
resurfacing.
always just completely
Women don't
evolves
want
itself.
a beta male. They want to out like an Andrew Tate that's just statutory
Yeah.
raping people.
I know.
Like,
I love this like rhetoric now that it's like, it's almost like the ubiquitousness of like social media is like regressing us socially, because now it's like, there's trad wives and stuff that we all like look down on, but even like the more progressive rhetoric for relationships is like the man always pays and the woman needs to be in her feminine and she needs to ask him for help and she
likes it.
and she loves a man who takes control. You can't be an independent woman because he won't know how to take care of you. And it's like, I mean, beyond paying for the first date, which I do think guys should do because it's like, I want to know if you're cheap or not.
But
like,
there are some things that I get archaic about. Like, I remember this lady when I was bartending, she came in and I always had these like great conversations with some bar guests at the hotel. And she was like, her mom told her, you should always marry a man that's slightly more into you, just slightly than you are into him. And I was like, I think that's totally true.
you think so? Yeah.
Also, we had a guest that proposed to her male partner.
Yes.
I don't know. Knowing most men, I'm like, I'd rather have that ball be in their court because I don't know.
Well, you gotta make sure. You gotta make sure. And they did talk about it, but I would not spring it on him.
Right. I just am like, that's where I get kind of archaic in that aspect.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all for it if it works out, but I've rarely seen it work out that way.
Well, I saw a thing, which I do think, I don't know that I agree with this, but it was the black cat golden retriever combo, where it's like, this is the best combo for relationships. The woman is more self-sufficient and like the guy is like more like golden retriever, like,
Once you
kind of
get
clingy
you stuff.
Right. Like, so that like is that same dynamic. But I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it's pop psychology, right?
It
It's
is
like,
part-
it's just like
and it goes in
distilling
ebbs
it.
and flows, even in
Yeah.
a relationship. Because there's one time there's going to be people in the relationship that need more help, or
Right.
it goes
Like, it's-
either way.
I don't know if you can distill it down and be like, one person is a tree and the other is a leaf. It's like, okay, I mean, now we're just speaking in riddles.
Yeah, I get that way too. We talked about with attachment styles, and I'll even bring it up. But I'm like, is this just astrology and psychology?
Right.
Like, it's really hard to pinpoint people into categories like this. I get that way with narcissism. I'm like, is there just like a true narcissist? I believe probably in a few cases, but I actually feel like, to me, and I'm not a doctor, narcissism feels like a spectrum.
I think it is. I think it is technically, but the thing about narcissism that's annoying is that like it's become really fun to
He's a
label.
narcissist.
Yeah, you want to label your ex as a narcissist because then that validates all your toxic behavior.
Right.
You don't have to feel accountable for any of your. It's like. You guys probably had a toxic relationship.
Yes.
Not okay, oh my God, not to downplay anyone's abuse with a literal narcissist,
Absolutely.
but I am speaking from my own experience from being toxic in a relationship and then later telling, and then being like, well, he must have been a narcissist, and it's like, well, he probably was, but I also wasn't great either.
Well, that's what Baby Reindeer was so great, talking about the complications or how complicated it is even as a victim.
Yes. I enjoyed it.
I thought it was a really well done thing about sexual assault. And like, it's hard to say where you don't want to discredit anybody in sexual abuse or any kind of abuse, but you have to sometimes ask yourself, anytime something happens, where's my part in this?
Right.
Yeah,
Gray
and I felt
areas.
And I felt like this with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard. She was getting shit on a whole bunch, and I was like, and I watched the Lorena Bobbitt and the John Wayne Bobbitt doc too. You find out two people in a relationship can both be trash and they should not be together.
Right.
Where you're like, I don't actually think there's true victims in some of these situations. Some of these. I actually think two really toxic people have met up with each other.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's what ends up happening.
And sometimes it does happen.
It does.
This is where we come out as not listening
Male
to women.
apologists.
Yeah.
No,
It's
I was
not all men. It's not all men.
I actually felt like Amber Heard got unfairly portrayed in the social media aspect. I was like, I actually don't think she's that atrocious of a human being. I actually think he's a big piece of shit alcoholic, and she plays her own part in this, but I think it's really unfair what's going on.
But I would still date Johnny Depp, though, for my career.
Yes.
I would poop in his bed.
I would poop in his bed.
No, wait, did you see this documentary? Now we're in a little bit of a rabbit hole, and we're going to go to your journey, but I just want to say one
Mine's
thing
a
quickly.
short journey. It's not really a big journey, but these are things I've been like bookmarking in my mail algorithm.
Oh, I love
Twitter.
this. I love this. This is a great journey. I can see it. I can see some of it. Well,
I'm turning into an alpha.
Clearly. Man journey. Wait, the documentary Tell Them You Love Me.
Oh,
Did you see this
is
documentary?
this like caretakers that fall in love with their people that are horrifically, they're almost like, I don't want to use this
Well,
word,
it's,
but I don't know any other
disabled,
almost
yeah.
invalids, like people that
Yeah.
aren't able to like in any sort of capacity really take care of themselves.
Yeah.
That
Did
it
you
feels
see
like
it?
they're being taken advantage.
I don't want to
clips
say
of it
anything.
online on
Oh.
TikTok, and I was like, ooh, this is right on my alley.
First of all, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to spoil it, but guys, watch it and then get on our Patreon because we're gonna have a talk.
That's what I'm gonna start watching.
Yes. Okay. So moving on to goal setting, your masculine Twitter. This is a man journey. I love this.
So this is goal setting. This is the stuff that's appearing on my, and these are threads. Sometimes they're so annoying.
Yeah, it's like Twitter. I have noticed this. It's like
Very
Twitter
masculine.
has become very much a fertile ground for like male. Like life hacking, like it's almost like Tony Robbins. Like every man is trying to be Tony Robbins with the threads. It's like just write a blog. Just write a blog.
It's weird. We're like, are these even real? I almost feel like these are AI generated because you could.
Yeah, they are. You get caught in it because you're like, well, I want to make my life better, and then you get like 2 threads in, and you're like, this is dense.
Yeah.
This is the same garbled word salad, self-help word salad.
Well, I always wanted to write a
Even though my
self-help-
journey's manifesting, and I'm like, mine's different because I'm using a candle.
Well, I wanted to write a self-help book that's just called, that thing you don't want to do? Well, you're going to have to do it.
I love that.
Because that's basically what all of stuff is.
I know.
It's
I
almost the
think,
Nike slogan.
you
Just do it.
actually,
Just do it.
Yeah, you can
It's
actually
perfect.
get into a destructive place reading self-help because what you're doing is
You're procrastinating.
Yeah, it's like a documented
Thinking. I also think sometimes
Pattern.
organization stuff is a form of procrastination.
100%.
I've been trying to go through this mindset of you can fix it later, just keep going.
Yes.
Particularly when I'm doing clips with people, it's a very trial and error of trying to figure out what looks good. And I'm like, all right, that wasn't that great, but I can do the next one better instead of being like, let me spend an hour on a clip that's not going to get me any more views.
Done is better than perfect. Yeah.
Right. Goal setting. So it's a pyramid. So you someday goal. What's on the thing I want to do someday? 5-year goal based on someday goal. What's the one thing I can do in the next 5 years? Like, who thinks that far out?
I mean, yeah, it's like the 5-year plan. It's like,
So sometimes it's like my someday goal was to write on SNL, and I think that dream is over. So that's my someday. My 5-year goal, I don't know what to put on that. I did think write for sketch for UCB, but what I found out is like know someone that can, I don't know.
well, I think a lot of these self-help, first of all, I think a lot of these self-help, it's like a type of scam, you know, in a way where it's like they're just really scamming you to follow them so they can sell stuff. Because
pyramid.
It's the same. Yeah, it's literally a pyramid scheme because it's like first of all, you have survivorship bias because if you look at the track record of most, and again, I'm over here like
It's
fully
networking.
doing spells right now.
It's networking.
But like, if you look at the track record of these people, you know, or like men, but it's women too, that are these like quote unquote self-help gurus. It's like, what have you accomplished in your life other than getting really popular, telling people you can help them succeed?
Like Tony Robbins.
and, like,
what has
a
he
lot of
done
these-
besides?
Yeah. And a lot of these people too, it's really hilarious to me because it's like, I know a lot of people that were actors and then they've gone into like a life coaching path. And it's like, well, you couldn't realize your dream. So how are you going to help me realize mine? Like, it doesn't make any
Right.
sense.
And then the ones that are actually doing it, when you're like, what, how do I like when people are like, how do I get into the comedy clubs in New York? I'm like this. I literally don't know.
Yeah,
I
I have
just
no
got
idea.
an email one day asking for avails. There was, I didn't wait around. I didn't wait for check spots. I know other people will validate that, but I was like, all I did was just try to do shows and be good. But I can't, there's no way. I can't tell you how I've gotten certain things. One was really bad. I remember I did really well at Caroline's March Madness. I got into the final.
I saw you that year.
Yeah,
I
it
was
was-
also in the contest, but I got out pretty
was-
early.
it was a
I made it to
pivotal
the
time.
16, Sweet
Yeah.
16.
Which it's hard. It's anybody's
Now that club
game.
is closed.
Yeah,
So it's like, what can you even do?
but that was kind of pivotal. I felt like that opened me up to the comedy scene in some weird way. I got asked. Some little online magazine was asking me like stand-up questions for a blurb, and then they were like, how did you get into the March Madness? And it was so embarrassing. My boyfriend recommended me. Is that female empowering at all?
Right.
My boyfriend said, hey, can you put my girlfriend up?
Right.
That's embarrassing. But you're like, that's how that happened.
Well, I mean,
I don't get it from girl boss shit. I never get it from.
yeah.
That's the other thing. Like, anytime somebody's recommended me, they've never told me. They just recommend. So it's not like, hey, if your guy is asking to go on a date or like, let's do a writing session. And then from there, like nothing's ever turned from
Yeah,
that.
there's no point in gaming the system. It's like spending all that time and energy figuring out how to do stuff. You should just do it.
So it's like 1 year goal, monthly goal, weekly goal. Like, couldn't you just figure that on your own? Daily goal.
Right.
What's my daily goal of being a writer on SNL?
I want to go to this guy's profile and see like
That's why I think it's AI. It just says self-development mastery.
and it is
38
verified.
Things to teach your son.
That's its bio. You need to teach that to Marvin.
You're your son's biggest role model. Here are 14 essential things that it says chess. 9 brutal truths that no one tells you. What's my other? 21 excellent learning. 7 skills that will pay you forever.
Oh yeah, and I love these. And then it's like you try to do one, and it's like now 1,000 people have already applied for the job.
Right. Or it's like you go to the website and you just get like pop-up windows galore and
Yeah.
then sign up for this. So then you get tons of all of a sudden emails coming at you.
That's why it's
Subscription services. It's a wild west on the internet.
you
still.
really get what you pay for in terms of self-help. Like if you want to do self-help, don't subscribe. Go and buy a book that's
Yes.
like targeted for what you want to do.
That's why. Even remember buying a comedy stand-up book? Did you ever?
Oh, yeah.
When you first, and it
I
was
bought
just
a
kind
bunch.
I remember. I forgot what her name was.
The Comedy Bible.
Judy. It was a Judy. She was
Yeah,
a
it was
Judy, not Judy Gold.
Judy. I
But
can't think of
everybody
it.
knows it.
Yeah, the Comedy Bible.
And it was like she had advice that was like, show up to the comedy club a day before and see if you can get on the stage and feel it out.
Oh my God, that was in there. That's so funny. I don't remember that.
If you're Black or Hispanic, skip to chapter 2, meaning like you're already funny.
Oh,
It was
how hilarious.
There was a lot of like stuff that's like, that's why advice or these books are like so ridiculous. Even now when like comics are like, oh, what do I do? I'm like, oh, you just go to open mics for 10 years and bomb. And you're like, no, just fucking get online, dude, and show your tits.
Just get a bikini.
Find a man on the street and say something vile and you'll get like the Hawk Tuah girl. Also be hot. Always be hot. And then the rest of my stuff is Excel formulas. Oh, the key to avoiding stress and burnout. And then you read and you're like, well, here's one way to avoid stress. I don't want to read small print.
Yeah. Let me zoom in on the serial killer handwriting.
Physical rest. Ooh, enlightening.
I know. It's like, but it's so funny because I do see like a lot of TikTok videos like this, but it's like, it's kind of all the same. And it's like the same with like, it's like we were talking about in the last episode where it's like there's kind of like a void now where it's like everyone is on the internet and can like kind of maybe have a hand in like a career of making things if they can just put out like enough stuff. But it's like we only know so much information as a species. Okay.
Also,
it's
there's
like
quite a bit of luck that's involved in all of this stuff. What's this? Rappers speak on Eminem. Why did I save that? And his influence in hip hop. Oh, I think I wanted to read that. For a hip hop artist, he goes into the studio from 9 to 5. He works it's like a corporate job.
wow. I love that. I love like
It just shows
like
you
an office man rapper like clocking in. It just shows you that that's all a character.
Right.
He's a business guy. He's a finance bro.
Yes.
Well, we're doing pretty good on time. You want to wrap up?
Yeah.
And save the rest for the bonus?
John Mayer is a master of his craft. He's also like a big male influencer kind of stuff. But yeah, that's my Twitter right now. But sometimes you're like, I get these and I like the quotes, like the tree with the leaves and stuff like that. But
I'd like to take this to like a therapist or like a fortune teller and be like, what can you tell me based on like what I've saved?
Right.
It's like goals. You're
am I?
goal-oriented. Eminem. I don't know what that's saying.
Well, sometimes I'm like, am I just a hoarder of how to be successful, but not wanting to like, here's something. I just saw Tom Papa talk about this on his podcast. So he had Joe Coy on, he's doing tour buses. He's on tour buses. He's got his whole family doing the whole corporation, and he's a millionaire.
Very successful.
Very, very successful. And Maria Bamford, who I think is one of the funniest people, she's like, I don't want to be a CEO of a corporation. I want to run a used bookstore and I want to just have it open to my 5 regulars. And I was
great.
like, oh, that's me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's different levels of success.
But she does make probably more money than I've ever made in stand-up.
well, put it on your goals list.
Put it in my
your
5-year
goal pyramid.
Goal.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. That's my Twitter
Lady
biohacking.
Journey. Yeah,
Lady
Twitter
Journey.
biohacking.